extinction to this is to peak the biodiversity is unlikely to be sustained. So this way we can say that exactly the peak of a biodiversity, it cannot be sustained because due to some reason or the other a mass extinction take place, and again the number of species goes down, and again the new species evolve, and this is like a cycle which keeps on going and going. Okay, so let's see what's ahead. Patterns, trends, and classification. So ornithologists and scientists who study birds, the graph in figure 8 shows the increase in you can say corrections in the classification of North American bird species. So okay, this graph, it is showing the particular animals from fossil evidence it has been found that 542 million years in the start of Cambrian period. So it is dated to this late time. So around 542 million years ago, this is the number of species that were present. So number of genera of marine animals we are talking about. So here the number is increasing, and again it decreased due to some reason, again increasing and decreased, increased, decreased. So that is how the graph is for the biodiversity that can be seen here. Okay, and here in the figure 8, where's the figure 8? Let's go down. Okay, here. So in the figure 8, we can see the lumps and splits here. So in the lumps, what does a lump and what does a split mean? So lumps are the basic things where we're actually, so for example, humans have recognized these two as different species, that they might be different. They look very much similar, but they might be different. But after some time that they found that a lot of data we have, and these two are not so much different from each other. So actually what they did was they named both of them the same species category they have been kept into. That is to actually make a broader you can say species type, and in which the number of overall species has to be decreased so that the data can be actually kept easily handled, and it can be easily kept. And splitting means actually if single species, if suppose 2 and 3 sort of birds that had little differences in them, they were considered as a single species earlier, but now the biologists feel that no, they definitely have various different characteristics. For example, their eating habitats might be different, or their beak shape might be a little bit different, so they want to keep them into different species now. So that is basically the splitting. Okay, so in splitting we are increasing the number of species that are already known to us, and while making lumps we're actually decreasing the total number of species that are already known to humans. Okay, so that is basically lumping and splitting here. So here we're talking in terms of birds here in the North American region. So here let's see what the questions are. Suggest why in 1935 publication of paper proposing the biological species concept might have led to the tendency towards lumping. So in 1935, so we are talking around over here. So here all of a sudden the lumping has increased because the number of known species were increasing very much. So it was being difficult to maintain the data of all the birds. So whichever birds were looking a little bit similar, they were kept, or they were given the same species name. Again, suggest why the improvement of DNA technology in 1980s might have led to increased tendency towards splitting. Why the splitting tendency increased after 1980s? So now actually we can do the DNA profiling where we can actually match the DNAs, and the more similar DNAs were kept in the same species, and the ones which were very much distinct from each other and they were different from each other, so they were actually splitted into two different species. So now it became really very easy to actually split the data into different species or the same species, which name has to be given to which species. And if the DNA profile of two particular species that were considered different earlier, if they've matched so much that they can be named under a same species, so lumping also took place, but the lumping was not very frequent. So we can see here lumping was increased from 1920s up to 1960s. After that a constant increase can be seen in lumping. Okay, but in splitting until 1980 the splitting was not done too much, because they want to keep the number of species low so that they can maintain it. but after we could access to the data of the DNA profiling, so after that the splitting was increased tremendously, and today the lumping process is less when compared to the splitting. It has increased very greatly starting from 1980s. That is due to the upcoming of the DNA technology. We could study the DNA structures. The graph cumulative shows that some periods when there was little lumping or splitting. So what were these periods, and what could be the reason that have been led to lumping or splitting? So here we can say a period where little lumping have taken place. So if you talk about that period, so here we can see a constant phase where the number has not really increased much, that is from around 1910 to 1920, we can say. So the lumping was less in this particular period, and after 1920 the lumping was drastically increased up to 1950 or 55, you can say. But if you see splitting, it was very less until 1980s. So you can say from around 1910 to 1980s the splitting was very much less, but after 1980s it has drastically increased. We can see in the graph here. Okay. Now, causes for anthropogenic species extinction. So, what might be the region? So, species extincted in natural processes, if it is balanced by evolution of new species, biodiversity does not decrease. So, if the reasons are the natural reasons, that if the number of resources that are available on Earth are less, or if the temperature change is taking place, or continuously climate change is taking place, so that might lead to extinction of certain species, but it will also lead to evolution of a lot of new species. But extinction is happening for billions of years due to these reasons, and the actually rate was not that high in the earlier times compared to now, because of the main reason that are the human activity. So what does anthropogenic means? The term anthropogenic means actually due to human activities. So human activities are the main reason for extinction of several species today. And what are the particular reasons? The first factor is over harvesting. So if you take example of plants or animals, due to hunting of animals, you can say, harvesting of plants for food and for medicinal plants, over harvesting. So now humans find it more convenient to actually harvest the already growing medicinal plants rather than cultivating them and then waiting for them to grow and then to harvest them. So due to over exploitation of these medicinal plants, most of the medicinal plants have reached on the verge of extinction now. Now also logging forest, due to timber, to obtain timber, the wood is required so much now, and because of that the forests are being you can say deforested. Also the reason is to increase the land area for you can say crop cultivation, and for all those reasons the harvesting of particular forest is being done. And also fishing in fresh waters or marine ecosystem. So if a particular area is continuously exploited for fishing, then the number of you can say marine animals will decrease in that particular area to a very great extent all of a sudden, and this will also lead to extinction of certain species that were specifically living in that area. So there's a specific term that is given to particular species that are found only in that particular area. So for example, you can say the camels that they are found in deserts only. So you can say that the camels are actually endemic to the desert areas. So the term is called as endemic, which actually means that the species are only found in this particular area. So you can say the camels are endemic to deserts. Okay, so particular species that are found only in that particular area, they can be called as endemic to that area. If this happens at the faster rate than the species can reproduce, extinction will occur. So if continuously over exploitation is taking place, the particular species will not be found in certain area after a long continuous time. For example, current fishing rate are certainly unsustainable. So sustainable means you are harvesting also and letting the other plants to grow in that particular area where you have harvested. So if the harvesting is done at a slower rate, so that can be called as sustainable, because we are giving time for the particular plant, or we are giving time for the fishes to actually come up again to their normal population, and then you can do the harvesting again. Or if suppose 100% of population is present, if you only harvesting 10% of it and then giving it some time, so the 90% will again reach to 100%, and then again 10% of harvesting can be done. So that can be called as a sustainable harvesting, but that is not being done by any of the human beings in any of the areas. So that is due to this particular unsustainable harvesting that the species are extincting. Sometimes only a part of animal is used. For example, just shark fins are required, and for that a whole big shark is killed just to get the shark fins. Or if you talk about elephant tusk, or if you talk about tiger bones, or you can say the rhinos that horn. So all these are small things. To obtain these things, the animals are being killed, and because of which their number is being decreased very rapidly. Habitat destruction is another factor. That is, agricultural began around 12,000 years ago in the Middle East, and today over 13 billion hectares of the land is cultivated, okay, so, or used for rearing livestock, or that is to actually care for the cattle. The natural habitats such as forest or grasslands are destroyed so that the land could be used for agriculture or livestock rearing. So this led to loss of some species, and about 6,000 years ago humans began to establish towns and cities, causing more losses of the natural habitat, just because they want to create their own cities or towns, and for agriculture and for rearing of livestock. For all that, the animals that were actually living there earlier in the wild areas, so they became homeless, and due to lack of space, the particular species actually has gone to extinction. Okay, next is invasive species. As we discussed, these are the alien species that are actually introduced from one ecosystem to another ecosystem. So these invasive species actually lead to the extinction of the native species that were actually present in this particular area earlier. Okay, so they can drive native species to extinct either by predation, if they are animals, spreading of pests and diseases which are brought with them from their particular native part. So if this is an invasive species, okay, if this is an invasive species and it has got it with some sort of disease, so the native species that were present of plants over here, they will also get affected by that particular pest or particular you can say bacteria, and the number will decrease drastically, because they are not you can say resistant to the particular bacterial infection, and they will get infected, and the number will decrease. So the competition for resources is also a factor, because the native species resources are being used by the invasive species. Due to lack of resources, these species might go for extinction. So they hybridize with aliens. Some introduction have been deliberate. For example, possums and domestic cats in New Zealand. In other cases, they are accidental and consequence of transport on boats and airplanes. So they were not purposely brought, but still they actually came from one area to another and led to a lot of changes in the environmental biodiversity. Next factor is pollution. So definitely chemical industries produce a vast range of substances which are actually harmful for the environment and for the living species that are living in that environment. No part of the world is unaffected by population today. For example, lead from the Roman era can be detected deep in the Arctic ice. Today also, the plastic waste washes up to the beaches in most remote parts of the world. Burning of fossil fuels is leading to formation of a lot of carbon dioxide is increasing in the air. Agricultural, mining, oil extraction, then pharmaceuticals are the major sources of pollutions. Also, if you talk about agriculture will have whatever you can say the manures that are we are giving, so that will actually lead to establishment of these chemicals in the soil, and they'll be carried to the water along with the rains, and they will actually accumulate in the water, making the water polluted with these chemicals, and the marine animals will also get affected, and humans, when they use this polluted water, they will also ultimately get affected. Next is global climate change. So the plants and animals adapt to conditions that they experience. If conditions change gradually, they will evolve to survive. Okay, however, human activities are causing very rapid changes in temperature, rainfall, snow cover, and other environmental variables on Earth. Some species will be able to adapt or migrate, but others face extinction. So there might be some species which will migrate to other areas to find a proper environment or a better place to live, but others, they might not get the chance and they might get extincted. For example, coral species, they might not adapt quickly enough to survive in rising sea temperatures, and due to which the coral reefs today, the number has reduced a lot because of destructions due to tsunamis, and destruction due to pollution in water that is caused by human beings, and there are a lot of factors. And also due to overall global warming, the sea temperatures are increasing, due to which the coral reefs number is decreasing day by day. There are many well understood cases of specific species extinction. So there are certain examples that are described here. One is the giant moth. So this is a large bird which was found in New Zealand earlier, and now it has reached on the verge of extinction, or it has actually uh, reduced in number. So let's see if so the megafauna of Africa has declined, but most species still survive. On the other parts of the world, many of the largest animals have become extinct in the last 20,000 years. So here in North America, there is evidence of humans hunting mammoths. So mammoths and wild horses were killed by humans. They have actually gone to, they were actually hunted until they were extincted. So the extinction of mammoths took place around 13,000 years ago. The another species is Smilodon, which is saber-toothed cats. These disappeared at this time, probably due to loss of their prey. They did not have prey because these prey were actually hunted by humans, and because of that, these cats did not get the prey, and actually due to lack of prey, they got extincted. Mouse are the group of flightless birds. So these are flightless birds. They were found in New Zealand, and there were 9 species, the largest of which was giant mouse. Okay, so these were found on the North Island, and Dorinos robustus on the South Island. They grew up to 3.6 meter tall and had weight of approximately 230 kgs weight. Now New Zealand was not settled by humans until arrived by the Polynesians in the 13th century, and the particular group, or you can say the native people that were first established in New Zealand, were called as Maori, and they actually hunted these particular giant mouse, and they took less than 200 years for all the species of mouse to be hunted to extinction. So all the 9 varieties of these mouse, they all were actually hunted to extinction. The next example is Italian grabe, which is actually a flightless bird. Okay, so cats, rats, and other alien species spread by humans are one of the major cause of extinction of this particular bird. There is no too late eradication program can be very successful. So here actually rats were carried away, the Pacific rats were carried in the particular area, and also the Henderson imperial pigeon. So they both actually led to decrease in number of these mouse, and now a lot of programs for rat eradication are being run by the particular government that reduce the rat numbers. However, until all the rats have been removed, Henderson's Island endemic birds will remain at the risk of extinction. So for Italian gabre, the particular plant, it's too late, it's already extincted. Okay, a large gabre was endemic to Lago di Italian in the Guatemala. At an altitude of 1700 meters, we could find it earlier. It had small wings and it was a flightless bird. And its decline began in 1958 when the 2 species of black mass, that was and Micropterus salmodois, were introduced in the lake to try to promote the tourism by anglers. But actually they helped. So these fishes, so these are basically the fishes, so they multiplied and competed for crabs and fishes, which were food of these particular flightless birds. So the food for gabre is actually reduced, and they also actually predated on the gabre chicks, due to which the number of gabre actually declined. So in 1960s it reached up to 80. Okay, it declined from 200 to 80 from 1960 to 1965. In 1966, a refuge was established for these Italian gabres, and the number rose by 210 in 1973. Unfortunately, one earthquake took place in 1976, which actually fractured the lake bed, and the water level fell, due to which again the number of gabres reduced to 32 in 1983. Most of these were hybrids with the pile built gabre. So the two birds were seen in 1989, but now there are no Italian gabre found, and they are declared to be extinct now. Okay, one more example is for a torrent frog. So the amphibians breed in water and also live in the terrestrial habitat. So these particular species are very much vulnerable to extinction, because if any of the habitat gets destructed, their number will definitely decrease. The Mount Glorious torrent frog lived in rainforests in the mountains of ranges of northeastern Australia. Now, the first described in 1966, it appeared to be relatively common in mountain streams. However, its population has declined rapidly and it is extincted by 1980. Okay, so these are the different species which actually extincted. Now, okay, students, so I think we will do up to here in this session, and we will continue in this in the next section from the particular topic of causes of ecosystem loss. Why does it happen? So that is all for today, and let's meet in the next session. Until then, do read the chapter very carefully. If you have any doubts, we can conduct a doubt clearing session. So bye bye for now.